Hello everybody and welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are going to be painting a Mother's Day card today. So you can go ahead and grab your supplies. First we're just going to be taking red watercolor, and I'm using a size 14 Grumbacher brush, linked in my description as always. And you're just going to pencil out Mom on your piece of paper. Just keep the O, don't actually draw the O because the O is actually going to be a flower. So once you have sort of the rough position of the M and the M and you know where your flower is going to go, we're going to grab our red watercolor and start painting our, I guess this is going to be a rose, but you can paint whatever flower you'd like. But, so I've loaded on quite a bit of red pigment onto my brush here, and we're just going to paint like these little half circles and half moons, and they're quite pigmented. Like, we want a lot of pigment on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna water my brush down a little bit and start painting thicker half moon shapes, like so. I'm going to water my brush even more. And the key is spacing your half moon shapes here. So you want to be leaving white spaces all around. Water your brush down even more. And just keep applying these half moon shapes until you're happy with your rose. And you can see that the outside petals are sort of all the same color. So I'm just picking up some of that pigment and I'm dabbing it off on a piece of paper towel, and then I'm going to go back in with a very pigmented brush and try and disperse some of that color. So I'm just kind of making the inside red portions quite pigmented again, and then just adding some pigment on some of the outer portions just to try and distribute some of that pigment. I just took a little bit of black and mixed it in with my red, and I'm just distributing that towards in the center of my rose, just to give it a little bit more pop. But this is optional, you don't have to do this. Okay, so once we're happy with our flower, we're gonna let this dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, so once your flower is completely dry, we can go ahead and finish off the other letters. You have several options here for the other letters. You can either paint over them with watercolor paint, you can paint flowers over them in the shapes of M's, but I really want the redness of this flower to stand out. So I'm just taking a black marker and I've penciled out sort of how I want my M's to look like, and I'm just gonna go over them with this black marker. Now, you are welcome to use anything that you have laying around. So a black pen would work, black watercolor would work. I really like it kind of looks like it's sewn almost, the letters. So I quite like how that actually turned out. And the last thing I'm going to do, just because I want the inside of my flower to be even more intense, I'm just going over it with a little bit of black mixed with red watercolor. And I'm just kind of going over the center of the flower, just trying to make the center details stand out a little bit more. So I'm doing exactly what we did before to actually make the flower. And hopefully that will, yeah, I like that a little bit more. That's perfect. Perfect. Don't forget to erase your pencil marks as well, and we are all finished with this really easy Mother's Day card. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check out several of my other tutorials. I have many Mother's Day watercolor tutorials from previous years, so don't forget to check those ones out.